This is English Shorthand Dictation number 196 and the dictation speed is 120 words per minute. Ready? Start. Honorable members, I rise in deep anguish to place on record the way this august house is being subjected to sacrilege, and that too propelled by a sense of competition among some sections of the house since the commencement of this monsoon session. Everything said or done violating, hurting, or destroying the sacredness of any place amounts to an act of sacrilege. We are a land of temples, churches, mosques, and gurudwaras. These are holy places with demarcated sacred areas which are known as sanctum sanctorum. The parliament, the apex legislature of our country, is regarded as the temple of democracy, the table area where the officers and the reporters of the house, the secretary general, and the presiding officer are seated is considered as the holy sanctum sanctorum of the house. A certain degree of sacredness is attached to this place. In our temple, devotees are allowed only up to this sanctum sanctorum and not beyond. Entering this sanctum sanctorum of the house in itself is an act of sacrilege, and it has been happening as a routine for some time. I am distressed by the way this sacredness was destroyed yesterday. While some members sat on the table, some others climbed on the table of the house, perhaps to be more visible with such acts of sacrilege. I have no words to convey my anguish and to condemn such acts. As I spent a sleepless night last night, I struggled to find out the provocation or reason for forcing this august house to hit such a low yesterday. A discussion on agricultural problems and solutions was listed. There can be a difference of opinion and there can be a specific demand from anybody. They could have discussed it in the House, protested and voted against it. Members have got every right to demand for their withdrawal also. But it is for the government to act. You cannot force the government to do this or not to do this. Notices of motions of different kind are admitted by the chair, and the language to be used in the list of business is drafted in such a way that it is acceptable to all sections of the House without denting the thrust of the issue to be discussed. It happened yesterday too. The chair has been doing it for years. I find it difficult to understand as to how the way the subject was listed in the list of business for yesterday would have prevented any member from raising any issue concerning the farm sector, including the 3 farm bills that some members were keen to raise in the House and even demanding their withdrawal. Yesterday, it was a golden opportunity for the concerned members to have gone on record with their positions on all issues relating to the plight of the farmers. When the chair is saying something, at least you should hear it. It is a different matter whether you agree or disagree. But it was not to be, as the sole intention seems to be to not allow the House to function. Right at the start of the proceedings of the House yesterday, I cautioned that not taking up the listed discussion on farm sector would be a negative approach. What is worrisome is that some members of the House have shot the sad moments of sacrilege in the House yesterday and posted it on the social media. While doing so, they only ended up showing to the people the extent to which this august house can degenerate due to the newfound competitive and aggressive disruptions by some sections. I was very sad. I am deeply anguished. The nation is also anguished. As the chairman of the house, I am scared to visualize the implications and consequences of such competitive acts of sacrilege in our temple of democracy. I earnestly appeal to the collective conscience of this house to seriously reflect on what happened yesterday and explore the remedies, if any. Failure to do so would certainly render our parliamentary democracy irrelevant. I would like to remind all of you that we begin to celebrate the 75th year of our independence in a few days from now. The choice before each one of you is very clear. It is either to be the best parliamentarian or the worst disruptor. The choice is yours. I am told that some people have complained about not showing this on the Rajya Sabha TV. I do not know why Rajya Sabha TV is not showing this. This also can be shown. I have no problem, and I do not want to run the house like this. Honorable Vice Chairman, sir, this bill has been brought keeping in mind the situation in which micro, small and medium enterprises require a lot of help post the pandemic. Sir, this bill will help them in that we are increasing the threshold and coming up with a pre-packed solution. Actually speaking, there was this feeling that there could be a surge in the insolvencies after the suspension ended of the period when some sections of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code were suspended. As a result of this, during the corona period, nobody could take the micro, small and medium enterprises to the court or demand insolvency processes to commence with them. But the suspension of these provisions ended on 24th March, and there was this feeling that there could be a lot more surge of insolvencies among the micro, small and medium enterprises. But sir, I wish to suggest to you that given the kind of information that we have, there is no surge in the insolvencies of micro, small and medium enterprises. Now, what is the pre-pack? Why do we want a pre-pack? We want the pre-pack to become a part of the code, and this is very much in alignment with the code's processes and spirit of the code. But the reason why we want this is that there is an inadequacy of existing options. The options available for the micro, small and medium enterprises are not too many. Then there are multiple competing options for ease of doing business. By this, there will be a better way in which these micro, small and medium enterprises can seek to have a solution. So this is being prepared. It is less costly. It is hybrid in nature. The debtor will still be in control and the creditors will be working together, and therefore it is actually going to cut the cost and speed up the process, because the whole thing will be over in 120 days. So I request all the members in the house, please understand the seriousness as to why this bill has to be passed, because it will be of great importance for the MSMEs to have some relief, and this will be a less expensive way of dealing with it, a time-bound way of doing it. Therefore, I request the honorable members of the House to please consider passing it. Sir, while speaking about the bill, I welcome the pre-pack arrangement which has been brought into the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code framework. Before getting into the details of its implementation, let me refer to the international jurisprudence insofar as insolvency and bankruptcy code is concerned.